Picture this, you're getting ready for that special occasion, reaching out for your wristwatch, only to discover that the timepiece has stopped, freezing the time right when you need it the most. Well, fear not, because today we are about to unveil the secret, or maybe not so secret, way to keep your watches alive, kicking and ticking. That all sounded a little bit corny, but hey, let's roll that intro. Hello and welcome to the channel. Before we jump into this video, don't forget to subscribe. That is, you will need to click that red button over there. Also, I would like to thank MOZSLY, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, for sending this watchwinder for review, and I don't have to send it back. In return, I'll do my best to provide a comprehensive review of this accessory, and of course there will be a link in the description to their website, as well as a discount code that you can use. Now, why would you buy a watchwinder? Well, I can think of at least two good reasons. One is kind of obvious, to take a good care of your automatic watch. And I will talk about it in more detail in a moment, but there is another, somewhat less obvious reason that occurred to me when I was making this review. What if you are looking for a nice present that will not break the bank for someone who is really into watches? Well, this could be just a thing that will put a smile on a watch aficionado's face. Well, it did put on mine when I've got this MOZSLY watchwinder. Okay, as I promised, a bit more detail of another reason for having a watchwinder. If you have at least one automatic watch in your collection, then you probably know that while it is on your wrist and you go about your usual daily business, the physical movement of your hand results in the rotor slowly but surely winding your watch up, and therefore keeping it running. However, once you take the watch off and leave it in a stationary position, there is no reason for the rotor to move any longer, and the watch will now be ticking away until the internal mainspring totally unwinds. For most watches, provided the mainspring is fully winded, this remaining running time is about 40 hours. For some more sophisticated models, it is 60 or even 72 hours. However, eventually the automatic watch will stop unless we either manually wind the watch up or put it back on the wrist and start physically moving it. So if you have a few automatic watches and you rotate them every so many weeks like I do, and you want to spare the trouble of resetting the watch every time you pick it up, a watchwinder will be your friend. And the more complications you have on your watch, that is, the more things you have to reset, the more you will appreciate this fairly simple accessory. As a matter of fact, some very complex watches, like perpetual calendars, are such a pain to reset that a watchwinder is pretty much a must-have. There is also a school of thought that keeping your watch running all the time will keep the oils circulating and the mechanical parts in a good condition. This is probably not that relevant with modern automatic movements and with modern synthetic oils. However, keeping a mechanical watch without any movement for months or even years cannot be good for it either. Like any mechanical device, even with more sophisticated modern synthetic oils, it is good to restart that engine now and again. And if you want to run your watch for a few days in the same manner as it would be if you wore it without actually wearing it, again, a watchwinder is the right tool for the job. Now, not all the watchwinders apparently created equal, and it is usually reflected in the price. However, this particular one is somewhat unique in this regard. According to MOZSLY's website, the aspiration behind the design of this device were to create an accessory which will retain the quality and the touch of luxury of a leading watchwinders while still keeping the price tag very competitive. The thing is that some watchwinders will easily set you back way over $200 for a single watch device, while this MOZSLY model is currently sold for just under $90, and you can knock it down even further by using the discount code in the description of this video. Not sure how long that discount code will be active though, so don't put it off for too long. As the packaging and delivery goes, well, I received it very quickly here in the UK, so this is good news if you are anything like me and leave everything for the last moment. As you can see, the packaging is done really well. We have a UK power adapter included, thank you very much. There is also a cloth, an installation notes, sort of a quick start guide, and a comprehensive user manual in 6 languages. MOZSLY also included a bridge connector. This will allow us to connect a second winder in line. We also get an additional memory foam pillow. This will ensure that we can cater for most watch shapes and strap sizes. According to MOZSLY, this winder can accommodate watches with face diameter up to 55 mm and strap size up to 8.7 inches. By the way, they come in few different colorways. I went for this somewhat conservative tan leather tone, but if you want something a bit more colorful, looks like you will be spoiled for choice. And as far as initial impression goes, it looks pretty good. It is also fairly compact, 6 inches deep and 4.4 by 4.4 inches across, with the metal cover protruding just under 1 inch or 2.3 centimeters. From aesthetic point of view, I like the visual design. Nice stitching on my, I think it looks what looks like a synthetic leather model, piano black front with a logo and brushed metal cap, which feels nice and premium too. Looks like this device will blend nicely pretty much in any room in the house, bedroom, office or library, if you have one. Okay, features and functionality. We have a few modes of rotation direction here. To make things somewhat simple for myself, I set it up to alternate the rotation direction mode to this mode over here, so it is as close as possible to the natural conditions when the watch is on the wrist. We also have a few different frequencies of rotation from 650 revolutions per day up to 1500. Cycles are divided into hourly run and rest periods. This is done to mimic the wearer's natural movement and avoid overwinding. Overwinding now and again will not do much harm, however, doing it on a constant basis will eventually take its toll on the movement. Now, this thing is also super quiet. I set it up in my bedroom while I was doing this review, and it was almost not audible. According to MOZSLY, they use Japanese mabuchi motors, which are very quiet and also durable. Technically speaking, the noise level of the motor is below 10 decibels, which is further dampened by the outer shell of this winder and the soft rubber legs. This winder can run off both the main power and off the 2 AA batteries. You can choose either of the power modes. Interestingly, it can actually run up to about 50 days on a set of 2 AA batteries. I also like the glass cover, which provides additional dust protection. A lot of budget winders of this type don't actually have such a cover. Now, the setup is very straightforward. Just put the watch on the cushion, slide it in as far as it can go and switch the winder on. It is important to switch it actually off when you put in the watch, just in case it starts turning unexpectedly. To MOZSLY's credit, they provided a detailed startup guide and instruction manual, which is helpful even though the operation is pretty straightforward. For most part, it is kinda set and forget device. I find it very easy to use. I was preparing a video about the NH34 based GMT watches, which is coming up shortly after this one, by the way, and I thought it would be a good use case to keep the GMT watches running using this winder, which worked out just fine. So, to summarize, looks like this accessory ticks all the key feature boxes. 3 modes of rotation, 4 different speed settings, battery or main power operated. It is really very quiet and it looks good too. Now, I haven't had a long-term experience with this winder, however, MOZSLY offers 3 years warranty on this product, so looks like they do have enough confidence to do that. And if I can think of anything to improve on this watch winder, potentially an automatic switch between the main power and battery power modes. Maybe MOZSLY will consider it for the future versions. As for my specific use case, I do have a GMT watch that I do wear now and again. Yes, I do have conference calls that are done across multiple time zones, and I use it as an excuse to wear my Kohler GMT watches. So, personally, I found this watch winder to be very useful and something I will definitely make use of going forward. Do you have a use case for a watch winder? If yes, do let us know in the comments. And give us a follow on Instagram. I do post footage and pictures there that not always make it into my videos. The link will be in the description. And if you do find this video useful, please like and of course subscribe. And as always, take care, stay safe. I'll see you in the next one.